Morning, everyone. Okay, just going to start in a couple of minutes. Just to say, it's Roger here. I think most people know that. Anybody new? My name is Roger. It's a trading room where we discuss trade ideas. Please interact. You have a chat line there, or you can unmute. And then we'll sort of like work together and hopefully come up with some good ones. Okay. Ooh, okay, so I'm going to share the screen now. Just let Sharon in. Let's share the screen. Okay, hope you can all see it and hear me okay. Loud and clear. Thank you. Just give it a couple more seconds and then we can start. Okay, 1:30. Good morning, all, and we can get started. Okay, as you can see on the screen, you got the CAD JPY up. It was sent out as a trade idea on the VIP group. Just let that VIP group, and well, it's a buy basically. It seems to be holding that level there. Look at the 4-hour. It seems to be holding there as well, and I thought it might attract a few buyers. There's the hour, doesn't tell you much. Look, the weekly tells you a bit more. And the weekly 10-day moving average is holding. We all know that's a 10, 50, 100, and 200. Okay, moving averages, all very important. Strongly suggest you have them on your chart. And yeah, so I saw that as a buy. So if anybody didn't receive it, not in the VIP group or whatever, and like the look of it, I can put the risk reward up. Anybody like the look of this trade? Anyone do any more details on it? Anyone questions on it, or why I think it's a buy and not a sell, or why do you think it's any good at all? Can interact and ask. See what you guys think. And if you like the look of it, I'll put the R up for those guys who didn't get the trade this morning. Anyone like it, or just busy working it out? Okay, just throwing it at you. You're probably busy looking at it and doing a little bit of your own analysis. But when you got a moment, just keep it up. You want to wait a bit. Okay, why do I have so many bear candles? That I think is retracement. If you see that's been holding way back, the last time it's below there was in April, which is 4 months ago, nearly 5 months, 4.5 months ago. Otherwise, it's been holding. Every time it comes back, it bounces, came back, bounce, comes back, bounces, came back, and I'm perceiving a bounce here. Okay. I think it's likelihood of a bounce. Brent's doing okay. Well, let's go to oil. Oil's doing okay on WTI. So I think we should get a bit of a move up on the Canadian against the Japanese, basically. Okay, so you want to hang 5 and see if it's going to bounce. You don't want to jump in now. Is that correct? Okay, that's fair enough. If you don't want to, putting it forward. Happy? Shall I move on? If you don't want it, if you do like it, I'll put the R up for you. Okay. All right, I shall move on. Let's look at a couple of trades we've got out at the moment. Dollar Swiss francs a bit quiet at the moment, but I still think hang on in there. Yeah, it's about even Stevens at the moment. It's a bit quiet, I give you that, but at least it's not losing, but it's not doing anything. It's probably just sitting there, but that's okay. At least it's not losing. WTI is 79.28. Was that correct? Yeah, or a little bit late. Some right about that level here, maybe a little bit later, 79.43. I've got down a couple of here anyway. But that being as it may, it's in profit. Okay. I still think it's a bit early to start modifying to break even. But if you want to take some of the risk out, you can maybe modify to 78 Rand. 78 Rand, $78, sorry, 78.0. Your stop loss, that won't take the risk out, but it'll certainly reduce it if you want to do that. And you're in that trade, obviously. Okay, I hope you all got that. If not, say so and I'll repeat. Okay, GBP USD.
Roger.
Jumping around. Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Oh, sorry. Just please repeat the stop loss for WTI. I missed it.
Okay, very simple. I'll pop it down there. 78.0. There you are.
Thanks.
Okay, good enough. Right. GBP USD. Start to get a bit of profit. It's been jumping around, gives quite a bit of jip, but that again, the 50 is holding. That's why it's so important. It's actually a very strong form of support resistance, a filter. Okay. Anyway, it seems to be coming off at the moment, so that's okay. Right. So it's not shooting the lights up. This is coming off. GBP CHF. That's starting to come right. Not a lot, but at least it's starting to come right. A little bit of profit showing there as well. So then okay, not brilliant, but okay. Just let these guys in. Okay, let's go back. AUD CAD hit the TP, AUD CHF hit the TP, AUD JPY hit the TP, Euro AUD hit the TP. So we can't complain too much about that. So we'll move on. We'll look at a share quickly as a catch up. If I missed anything, just please let me know. DIS, Disney. Give me a moment. Okay, we got to stop. Sorry, stop. We can actually move the stop. Can't actually because it's not as close to the moment. But we can move the stop. We're opening unless you've already moved it. But on opening, get it to protect yourself as per normal. 85.25 is the TP. So a bit of luck, we might be able to hit the TP on opening today. So it's doing pretty good. Whatever happens, make sure you're protected. We don't go into the weekend with a stop and a heavy loss. Make sure the stop's in a profit. So yeah, so you go in knowing that you're going to be safe over the weekend. Okay, that's about it. I think that's it. So any other open trades you're in? You want any discussion on it? Anything you want to suggest to look at? I didn't find much outside the CAD JPY, but you know, a lot of stuff found by the forum here in the trading room here. So let's have a look for something if you like. Anything, you know, look at FRA 40. Is that, you mean the Cacaron, the French one? Certainly come back to it if you remind me, Nikki, for sure. I'm in it anyway, so you need to remind me. FRA 40. I'm not sure what you mean by that, unless you mean the French one. That's a CA. I'm not sure we can actually do that. We'll have a look anyway. Might be close only. We'll have to check on that. We'll look at the Kakaron first. Nope, can't do it. Okay, so ignore that, even if you wanted it. Can I hide it? Yeah. So forget about that if that's what you meant. I'm sure what else you could have meant. FRA 40, I'm just guessing. Okay, GBP JPY. Okay, we'll certainly have a look at that. We'll start off with this one, Neo's first, GBP JPY. Right, what do you want to do with this, Neo? Okay, we can't do it anyway, so it's not tradable on here. Okay. Right, what do you want to do with this, Neo? Okay, you want to set it looking for an entry. Okay, right. Then the seven, it might be a bit quiet today. Going into the weekend, I didn't find a lot. We might find something here, but we can discuss that. Before we do, I just want to quick look and see we got a one on the AUD USD, and then we can maybe discuss this, see what your views are on it. You're looking for an entry or sell, okay? You want to short 64.05, round about where it is at the moment. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, we've got some downsides. Got to break through this resistance on there before I get too cute. The dollar is still okay. I hope you all got the dollar index. If you haven't, please let me know and I'll copy and paste it on the chat line for you. No point me posting it if you've all got it. So if you haven't got it, let me know and encourage people to interact. Put their hand up, basically. It seems to be holding above 103, so dollar strength seems to be okay at the moment. Clearly, it's a downtrend. That's blatantly obvious. Yeah, I think it needs to break through. On the weekly. I feel I'd like to see just a bit of confirmation. We might get a sort of a profit-taking bounce. You know what I mean by that, because people buy to exit their short positions. Okay, might get a bit of a bounce. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. Not really happening on the 4 hour. Let's look at the 1 hour. See, it's not really happening either. So looks like it's going to break through. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go for it now, or we'll come back to GBP in a moment. Do you want to go for it now? Because it's around about the round figure, or do you want to hang 5? But it didn't seem to be having much of a bounce at the moment. The seller's still very much in control. Do you want to look at selling it now, or do you want to wait a moment?
Hi, Roger. This
Hi.
one we discussed yesterday, and I did put in a pending order, and I managed to enter it yesterday at just before 12 at 0.64050.
Yeah. In other words,
nothing happened since.
6405, in other words. Okay, just where it is now. I remember we discussed it right about the 6410. You just remembered now. That's right. You're looking about 6410. It went a bit above that, then it's coming off again. And you went in there yesterday. That's an interesting point you made there, guys. Finally said he went in yesterday. There hasn't been much action. So let's go to the 4 hour again. Yeah, you see, there's not a lot of action happening at the moment. 25 pips
Even
on
Stevens.
Yeah,
Even
very,
Stevens.
very much so. And as I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-hourly charts, not a heck of a lot of movement. So yeah, that is a bit of a negative. You know, you want movement. You don't want to be bored. it's great, but you're stuck in, I call it traffic jam, stuck in a traffic jam. It's not really moving. Yeah. That being as it may, downside is clearly the name of the game. Despite that, anybody like to look at this? If you do, I can put the RR up. Anybody on it? Nobody wants to do it. Okay. Well, I'm not against you doing it if you want. I'm not against it. I'll put an R up for you if you like. Anthony, because you asked it earlier on. And Tony, you should try and get it right. Right. I want to short it. Where can we put the stop? Where's your stop, Fanny? Yeah, put above the 10. Put above the 10-day moving average.
I've
60
put it at, sorry, 0.64620.
Okay, I think it's a bit close. I'm going to put mine a little bit further up. Just a
Okay.
bit further up, above the 10-day. So I'll make it 6490, just above the 10-day. 0.6490. And I'm going to try here for, let's have a look here.
Because it was hovering like that, I think I've just put it above the closing of the day before. Not yesterday, the day before. On the
Okay.
daily frame.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. That can't be right. Clearly it ain't.
You're on the weekly time frame.
Yeah, I know, but that's jumped to the wrong place. I'm going to put this back up manually like that. That'll do. There we are. Maybe a little bit higher. Yes, a little bit higher. There we are. Yeah, that'll do. So it's nicely out the way. 170 bucks. That's your only thing. If you want to tie the stop, Antonio, you can, but it's 170 around for 1 micro. If you want to tie the stop, it'll obviously reduce the risk per micro. But don't get it too close. You'll get stopped out, and it's a good trade in the jumping around. But I quite like it where it is there. Are you happy with that if you want to take it? No problem, Anna-Marie. Anyway, yeah, you're happy. Nobody else wants to join it? I'll save it anyway in case to come back to if anyone likes the look of it. Okay, good enough. Okay. Must I quite like it. I'll put it out to the group, see if they like it. I'm looking at the wrong one, that's why, idiot. Just a second. Yeah, just a minute while I get this out. There we are. Okay, let's get this back. Gets a bit cluttered my other side there, so I can see what's going on. Okay, right. GBP JPY. I think we can open this up for discussion. What do guys think of this? You want to sell it? I think it was Neo wants to sell. We'll come NZD in a minute, Martin. NZD, I'll write it down so don't forget. Okay, right. Right. Who would like to start the ball rolling to say whether it should be a sell or a buy? Well, he's looking at a sell on this one. So what do you think as regards a sell on this one?
Okay, I see it as a buy. It's clearly in the buying zone. To start off with, I would rather wait for a better entry, retracting maybe down to the 10-day and then buy it again.
Yeah, right about there. Yeah, I'm afraid I agree on that. I see a buy. I don't see a sell on this. I agree. Not at market either. I agree. I basically agree just what he says, what finally said then. haven't really got anything else to add, actually. Nikki, you think it's a sell? Any idea why you think it's a sell? You could be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. Let's hear what your reasons behind that.
Okay, so I was only looking at the daily. So on the daily charts, it looked like a sell. But if I go look at the 4 hour, 1 hour, and in the minutes and in the 5 minute, then I can see more buyers coming in. So then I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. Because I was only looking at the daily.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's good to look at all of them, quite rightly. There's some buyers coming in there, yeah. We wanted actually to come back a bit. We're not trying to sell it down, but we wanted to come back a bit. So on all the charts in the buy area, I hope it does come back, but I'm not going to try and sell it in case it doesn't. And it's only about 7 pips. Was that? No, 74 pips, quite a lot. Okay, so it comes back around about the 184 mark. We can look at it. But I wouldn't try and sell it down there because you can see already buyers are coming in, defending that little bit of support they got there. So there is a little bit there, seem to attract a couple of buyers. It's not good enough for me to enter now. I'm going to risk missing it. Yeah, I think if it can come back a little bit more, I think it'd be a possible buy there. So yeah, I that's what my take is. Okay, Neo. So if you want to do a sell, of course you can. It's up to you. You've got to have, 2 parties make up the trading. You've got to have a buyer and a seller. But in this case, I prefer to be on the long side. Okay. Are we happy on that? Are you happy on that, Neo? It's your idea. Do you disagree? You're happy on that? Okay. Wait for a better pullback signal. Absolutely. Okay, we're agreed on that. Move on. Now, Martin was looking at the NZD USD as a buy. Right. Who agrees with Martin on that? Anybody think this is a buy? Nobody? Well, it's not in the buy zone. Number one. Number two, we've just been suggesting a sell an AUD NZD, AUD USD. So why would we suddenly buy the NZD? And also, which clearly, why would you? Lower lows, lower highs. I mean, it's clear the trend line's down. There's no area suggest that trend could change. This is a just under 10-hour-old candle, and it tried to pop up. Sellers very quickly came in. Same yesterday, day before. You get the idea. See, so it's clearly the trend is down. It might change to a bounce, but we don't know that as yet. We've got no confirmation. So you got a choice. You either go for a short or you leave it alone. I would say you really, really stick your neck out to buy that. It could well be demand zone. I like the look of that. Yeah, it could be at the demand zone. But I wouldn't second guess on that. It looks like a short to me as well, but like your AUD one. But yeah, I'll be shorting or leaving it alone, put it that way. In certain respect, the moving averages, and the major thing is the sellers are coming in. Look at those wicks. It's getting no follow through. Let's try a shorter term chart. See, it pops up. Already the sellers are coming in, and it's only 2 hours old, this candle. Try an hourly one. Pops up, sellers are coming in. It's not really getting a headway, so it's really not really moving much. But every time it tries to move up, seller banging it down again. I'm leaning towards we've got an AUD one out. We haven't got it out at all, didn't like it, but I mean, some liked it, I think. I think maybe that'll do. I'm not sure, unless you prefer this one. You might prefer this one, the AUD. I'm not sure I'm going for both of them. But strong suggestion you're looking on the short side rather than the buy, if you don't want to leave it alone. Yeah. And remember those moving average work on all charts. Don't forget that. Okay. So there it is. If Tesla's might be setting up for a buy, by the way, guys. Go at the daily, see more clear on that. If this holds, we might get some up direction. but don't jump. Well, you can't anyway now. But I mean, wait for open, have a little look before you get too cute with it. But there might be some upside on Tesla. So keep a strong eye on that this afternoon if you want to go into a trade on a share this afternoon. Okay. Put that in your watch, just have a check it out. Okay.
Did anybody trade any trades yesterday?
You hear that, guys? Anybody trade yesterday? We had a few out.
I was clearly knocked out on XOM, the Exxon one.
Yeah, the Exxon knocked out. If you're DIS, Disney should still be there. Are you still in Disney?
No, unfortunately not. It hit my stop loss at 91.4 2 days back when it was quite jumpy.
Okay.
My stop loss was too close.
Okay.
Round, I put it at, I think
yeah.
almost $1.8 or $2 that I reduce it, and then it knocked me.
Okay.
It was too close.
Yeah, it's too close. It's tempting because if you had a bad trade or two, your confidence takes a bit of a knock, and then you start to protecting by getting it too close. Unfortunately, that's a pity because it's actually doing quite well. Okay. Is anybody in DIS? Yeah, that's right. The Dow and the NAS have not been favorable to me the last 2 or 3 months, to be honest.
And the gold was also.
And the gold, I can't complain about. The gold didn't, but I've done okay by gold. I've certainly, on all of them, I've lost at one stage of the game, but some have won more than the others. Oil, I've won far more than I've lost, and gold more than I've lost. I wouldn't say, yeah, I'd say out of 10, I've probably lost about 3 times on, maybe 4, 3, something like that on gold. But I think in the last 10 on oil, I think I know of one I did lose. It might have been another, but otherwise they've been pretty good. But the NAS and the Dow have been pretty much not so great. A bit wary of it. And I think it's not just our fault. I think it's more that it's jumping around. It doesn't really know which direction. It's looking good news on the economic front in the United States, but they're still worried about this enormous debt they've got. And the interest rates through inflation. So it's like one's pushing it up, another one's pushing it down. It's jumping around because of it. So I'm a bit wary on it. Okay, that's fine. I mean, if you're playing around the shorter term, play around with it. Yeah. That's probably even a better idea, actually, because it's, you know, changed from bull to a bear pretty damn quick, doesn't it, as you know? Okay. Yeah. So nobody's in DIS because I don't want to go on about it if no one's in it. It's a bit of a pity because it's quite a good one, that one. And again, it seems to be the normal problem. One gets a stop too close. So the winners, you're making only a couple of bucks and the loser hitting you hard. That's unfortunate. I think that's a lot to do with emotion coming into play. Try not to look at it all the time.
Yeah, that is emotions. I hate it. I need to get some Prozac or Prozac.
Yeah. Well, it's very, very difficult. It's your money on it. And for goodness sake, of course it's emotional. The only way I can say around is to trick the brain. I say, don't look at it all the time. And when you go in, pretend you've lost. Let's say if risk is 500 Rand, go in with the thought, 500 Rand's gone. So once you reduce your stop to, let's say, 300 Rand risk, it's like almost making 200 bucks. Once it gets to break even, that's fine. And then when the profit, if it's getting profitable and you're getting a bit nervous, rather modify your stop again, not too close, and maybe bank a bit, unless you've got one micro and you can't. But I mean, if you've got more than one micro, maybe bank a couple, and then, you know, something like that. But it's somehow it's got to be worked on. I know from the hard way myself. It's very, very difficult. But without doubt, it does spoil the party for a lot of guys. Okay.
Yes, I think the main thing for me is when I place a trade, I don't want to think of, okay, the risk is 300 bucks, I'm losing 300 bucks. I'm thinking of the risk is 300, but I'm going to win 600. So this is the thing, because otherwise, what's the use of trading if you don't make money?
Yeah, I quite agree. But I'm just talking about, I hear you, but whatever works best for you. I'm just checking out a couple of ideas. I personally think if you can sort out the negative, the positive will look after itself, sort of thing. And I'm more happy because the fear is more powerful emotion than greed. So if you can control that fear part, the greed should, should come with it. That's what I try and do anyway. Works for me to a certain extent, but whether it works for you, Farley, and guys listening can take what they like out of it. But however you handle it, it's got to be handled, because there's no doubt about it. Clever people who've done the study, done the stuff, done all the hard work, all that, it bites because this damn fear comes in and kicks them. And I see it all the time where the winning trades aren't paying out and the losing ones are obviously doing the other way around. So I say half the time, like we had those 4 I mentioned earlier on, hit TP, which went in a couple of days ago. But how many people are on board still? They've all gone all out. It's a pity. Okay, obviously likes it. Just a second.
No, I can second everything you said. It's what's working for you the best. That's the main thing.
Okay. The office likes your trade. I've just posted in the VIP group. The office likes your AUD trade, Anthony. I want to establish again, a lot of these trades come from us here. Us being us, not me, not you, us in the trading room. And yeah, they clearly like it. So there we are. Yeah, it has, but it shouldn't. This is the whole point I'm trying to get to. It shouldn't. A losing trade shouldn't steal the party. You know what I'm saying? And so you got a loser, but that hurts. It's this emotion again. We had 4 hits TP and 1 loser or 2 losers. You know what I mean? And then it's hurt you because maybe you're overexposed or you took your profit too quick and out way before it hit the TP. But you obviously hold on until it hits the stop loss. And yeah, there it is. Peter's one of the few who seem to see it's not going well and exit in the loss before it hits the stop loss. That's actually quite interesting that most people don't do that. So if you stop loss the target, the TP is a target, the stop loss 9% of the time is hit. The TP isn't because you're out. Okay. So if you took a major smack, means you're overexposed. Probably moved the stop loss away and away and away, hoping it's going to come right. And now you're stuck in the thing. Now you can't take the loss because it's too much, so you move it away again, and now you can't think straight. No, it's that damn emotion again. Okay, dollar yen. I hope I haven't missed anybody. If I have, just repeat it. Dollar yen. I'm a bit wary of it at the moment, to be honest. Clear it's a buy zone. I'm not too sure I'll be selling it. There has even been talk there may be some Bank of Japan government intervention to try and strengthen up the yen, but that's talk. There's no do as yet on that basis. So we can't, so I wouldn't take it. We have to just bear that in mind, but don't act on it. Just bear it in mind. At this stage of the game, I'm not sure I'd be selling it. No, I'm not sure I'd be entering either. I'm not saying I'm not against it, but if the dollar remains reasonably strong and if for whatever reason it pulls back to a better price, I might consider it, but this stage of the game, I'm a little bit wary of it. I think I'm going to leave that alone. But Martin thinks it's a sell. Does anybody like that? If we do, we can discuss it. I'll put an R up for you with pleasure. I've stated my case, but it's up to you. That's the whole idea of the forum. Each got their own opinions.
Yeah, Roger, sorry for the interruption. I've just seen that the national CPI of Japan was exactly as they expected at 1 o'clock this morning, or 1:30. And by the way, trending the yen trade, you'll see it strengthened all over against all the currencies.
Yeah. They're expecting it because, as I say, it was absolutely no difference whatsoever. I agree there. And it looks like, what's this in the 15-minute chart? Well, yeah, it did strengthen. It's come off. Okay, it's come off. It did strengthen. Yeah.
But you can have a look on against all it. CAD,
Yeah.
Euro, GBP,
Yeah.
every single one is down. That the
Absolutely.
yen will strengthen.
Yep, that's correct. So you know now it's about the yen rather than about the dollar, the CAD, or the AUD, or whatever. Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, as you see, the dollar's coming back into it. It's going to be a bit sideways. Yeah. Remember 11 o'clock. I think it's the CPR. Just check again of the euro. Core CPI and normal CPI euro at 11 o'clock. Just bear that in mind. Just to remind you of that. Okay. Right. So, Martin, what do you want to do? Do you want me to put an R up for you? Do you want to short it? Are you there, Martin? Check it for a short. Okay, we're going to put this up here, out the way, or maybe up here. Let's try the 4 hour, maybe get a better idea. Maybe above there somewhere, 146.28. And the TP. Ooh, I can't take you to there clearly. I have to take you about here. Maybe they'll do. Something like that will do. 143.80. Try that. Nope, a little bit wider. Take it down here. That should do. If you like that, $130 a micro. If you want to do that. I'll save it for you just to make sure, because I don't think many other people are going to do it. So I'm going to write it down. I'm going to save it in case you have to refer back. You're going to leave it alone. I'm definitely leaving it alone. No ways I'm shorting that. You don't want to do it. I've saved in case anyone wants to short it, but I'm definitely not going to short that. No.
I'm concerned about the 50-day average, moving average.
And that's another problem. I'd rather buy it there. And that's only what, 40 odd pips away. So that's going to be a bit of a hurdle to break as well. And it coincides with a few bits of other resistance as well. If anything, I'd be buying a bounce off that rather than selling it down there. But anyway, okay, we'll move on. Leave it alone. Yeah, in my opinion, anyway. Okay, right. Have I missed anybody? Don't think I have. Gold, like I mentioned yesterday, leave it alone. Don't get cute with it. It's just going nowhere at the moment. The dollar hasn't shown, although yields are still pretty high. There might be a bounce imminent, which is a good chance of it. But what's this doing here? Imminent, but I wouldn't get too cute with it. Leave that alone. Your WTI. Don't know, anybody still in this one? You should be. I hope you are. I know Nikki is. It seems to be okay. It's not shooting the lights out, but at least in a profit. Keep your stop 78. You can modify it to that, not too close, and maybe get some more action coming in.
Yes, I'm still in as well.
Good. At least that's something. Okay. Righty. Okay. Right. Any questions, guys? If you find another trade, as always, that comes first. We'll be looking at the CAD JPY as a bounce. It seems to be happening. Does anyone want to join this one or not? I'm definitely in it, as you'll see. I got in at 20, oh, well, 2 pips. Voila. Don't get too excited there. You're in, okay. This is okay. Well, there we are. Seem to get the bounce as hoped. Seem to be doing that. Okay, we'll see if we can continue. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So anyone got a trade want to look at? If you could be in it, you want to see whether it should be with a stop or want to enter, that comes first, as I mentioned many times. But in the meantime, maybe we can discuss trading, the emotion side of it, having the calculator. these aspects. I trust everybody knows how to get information on an instrument or a symbol. You left click on it, you right click, and then you left click on specification. Does everybody now know what the contract size means? The spread is in points, not pips. That's 3.5 pips. The margin or deposit, divide that into 100, gets your leverage. And the implication of leverage, full access means you can buy or sell it, etc. So I hope you all know that information, because it's no good looking at it if it doesn't mean anything to you. We discussed it the other day, but if people aren't bored with it, we can go into a couple of questions. But it's absolutely imperative as part of the trading room, when you come in here, you know those basics, because I think a lot of the times they're going to classes, they're filled with a lot of details, but often some of the bullet points, for whatever better way of putting it, are often missed. Does everybody know how to cut a position? Let's see what we got here to show what I mean. Okay, everyone, can we get for CAD JPY for sure? Put it up for you again. Right. What was the stop loss? Use the same one, 106.44. And 108.90. There you are. Those are the figures. Can you see it all right?
Yes, thanks.
Good. I'll just give you a moment to take that down. While you're doing that, sorry, excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Okay. Which time frame was the best to look for performance on FinViz? I don't know about FinViz. I don't really use it. So yeah, but time frame's a time frame. As I mentioned before, I use for my strategy daily about 70% of the time, and the other 30% is made up the 4-hour and the weekly. Sometimes I use a daily to get the stop loss, but I have to go to the weekly to find a target, that sort of thing. And sometimes a shorter, more aggressive trade, I might look at the 4-hour and work on that basis. Okay. I think below that, 1 hour and that sort of thing, it's just it's too short a term unless you're a scalper. Okay. So you got that, so I can knock that off. Great. Right. Anybody, I don't want to waste time on this, you all know it. Anybody not know how to partially close the trade? As you see, I've got 0.12 there. I might want to, let's say, close half of that, not the entire amount. Does anybody not know how to do it? Okay, whilst people write down if you don't know how to do it, and I'll quickly show you. If nobody writes it down, I'm going to move on. I want to show you something everyone already knows. Okay, how does it affect gold? Well, just a quick explanation again for everyone. Put on 5 minutes, only up maybe 5 minutes. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Right. Right. Yeah. Now, remember, gold, I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. Gold doesn't earn dividends or interest, and you're taking a risk when you buy or sell gold. When you go into the yields or interest rate, it's called a no-brainer because there's no risk and no effort or anything involved. So if you can make money for doing absolutely no risk, no effort, no nada, no knowledge, anything, why would you go into something is risky? the only reason you do it because the returns by doing nothing are not as high as or worth it as the risky one. So that what that means, we call that an opportunity cost. That's what they call it in economics, an opportunity cost. Simple as that. So if the yields go up, it means the no-brainer is giving it a good return. So that'll have a negative effect on gold. If the yields come down, interest rates come down and very, very low, why would you put your money in there? It's not giving you any return. So you've got to put it somewhere else, then it attracts into gold. Also, the dollar has been quite long over the years as sort of a safe haven currency. We talk about Swiss franc, Europe certainly, but I mean, it's such an international currency. You know, oil's measured in it, natural gas is measured in dollars, get the idea. So often people go to the dollar safe haven that strengthens it. When you get a bit of fear, you might have gold going up despite the fact the yields are going up because a lot of fear out there for whatever reason. Ukraine's been invaded or bombs gone off somewhere, whatever. Okay, but apart from that, the dollar and the yields go in the opposite direction to gold overall. So if you're in gold long and you see that yields coming off and the dollar coming off, you're going to have a smile on your face. If you start seeing them going up, you start getting a little bit on the nervous side. It works inversely. Exactly. Inversely proportional. Yeah, very important. That's why you got to have them. So say if you don't have the yields, I can copy and paste it for you. Don't have the economic calendar, I can copy and paste. The dollar index and copy and paste. I try and do every time, but I'm trying to get people to start to interact more. So I'll only copy and paste if the person puts their hand up and asks for it. Otherwise, you know, I'm not going to do it unless you ask, because I've seen you've got it. Okay. And if you've all got my number, that's great. If you haven't, let me know and you'll have it. Oh, makes sense. Okay, right. So that seems to be clear enough. Okay, so everybody knows how to cut their position. Highly appreciate it. Well, I'll do that then. Thank you. That's all I want. Someone to ask. I'll do it. Doesn't take long. Takes a little bit longer than asking. That takes even quicker. Trying to get people to interact. Right, this is the economic calendar. This is the dollar index coming up. I'll put my number down. If you haven't got it, I'll certainly do that. But please, you've got to have a funded live account, not a demo. Never ask advice from a broker on a demo. It's the quickest way to get the wrong side of it. That's a sort of international norm. Yeah, if you do ask me advice on a demo, I'll say, yeah, my advice, get off it. Okay, hope you all got that. And you all know how to cut a position. If you don't, tell me and I'll show you. It won't take too long, but I'm not going to bore you if you already know. Why do that? Okay, don't forget, a quick one, that doesn't take long either. Right-click on empty part of the chart, go to templates and save the template. So if you do lose, you have got to set the whole thing up again. Write in your name and press save. So if you do lose the charts or something goes wrong, all you do is right-click, go to templates and click on the save. And you can have as many as you like. Okay, that's the beauty of it. Okay, don't forget you got specifications, left click, right click, and then left click. And there's the details. It's absolutely essential people in trading know their leverage instruments, what that means, what margin means, the pros and cons of leverage, what margin calling is, make sure you got enough free margin. Those are tripping people up, and those basics should be understood before you start trading. The other details, all good stuff, but those are sort of very important stuff. Keep an eye on the economic calendar. Keep referring poor old Nikki again, embarrassing her, but we asked her to put her hand up and give a discussion. And the first thing she said, well, check the economic calendar. Well, that was brilliant because I often forget myself. Try and get in that habit. Check. You don't want to go into the Canadian with important fundamentals coming out on the yen or the Canadian or whatever. And that's why you've got it there. And it's free. It's there. The DXY, which you've got now, and the yields have effect on shares, they have effect on indices, and as I mentioned, they have effect on gold. So it's important to know it. Yeah, so those sort of things are bullet points, not difficult, and make your life hopefully a little bit easier. What I can't help you with, I can't tell you, is what the price of gold is going to be in the next half an hour. I can take a view, but we don't know. Remember, there's millions of buyers and sellers tussling it out with different opinions. Okay, but that's the variables of the market. Okay. Well, okay, I can do that. If I'm boring anybody, and I've got somebody else they want to interact on, I can do it because I don't want to bore the old hands because they know a lot of this. But I'm going to answer that question in the meantime. This is what I do each morning. Best way to show you. Well, never mind the shares. That can be done later on the day because it only opens at 3:30. And remember, if you're going into a share, do not use this calculator. By the way, if you don't have this calculator, go to live chat like immediately and go to the technical support, get it downloaded on your laptop. If you only got a phone, try and if you want to take this serious, you've got to get a laptop. It's very limiting. But on a phone, well, you've got to go to the App Store. We don't have it for the phone. Go and download that. But it's not for shares. There you go to your Stock Market College Learning Management System, LMS, log in. I think it's in resources. I don't access to it, but I think it's in resources and get the Excel share sheet there. Okay, anyone's got it handy, they can always post on the chat line for you. But don't try and use this one for shares, and don't try and enter, close, penny, or anything on shares before the thing opens. What happened there? Anyway, whatever. Okay, so I hope that's all clear. Oh yeah, what do I do each day? I start off in alphabetical order. If you want the alphabetical order, you see that symbols area there, is it? Can you see it properly? There we are, that symbol area there. Just click on it and it'll be in alphabetical order. It makes it easy to search. Okay, right. Start off now where we start with alphabetical AUD CAD. I left click, hold it, drag it across. Now I've got it up and running. I make sure I'm on the daily and have a quick look at it. With a bit of practice, you see pretty quickly. Now, even without practice, it should be pretty obvious that's in the sell area. There might be a question or two, like Martin, I think somebody else came up with, where it might be think it's in a bit of a sort of a under or overvalued, and that's why sometimes you can consider buying or selling in a selling a buyer or buying in a sell area, because it might get to a stage where it's so undervalued it should start getting a bounce. Very difficult to call, but that is a possibility. So I get that. But normally speaking, you're looking for a buy or a sell, and you look at this and you immediately say, that's a sell. Then you can look to see if it's worth selling. You can then check the weekly. Is anything getting in the way? Not really. And you've got a target down there as possibility, which is good. And then you look at the 4 hour and you see what the story is there. So it's all in sell areas that confirms it. Then you look for an entry. Simple as that. Check the economic calendar, and then yeah, that's what I do. In fact, we'll do one now if you like for you. We did this before and I think it was fairly popular. Let's pick one at random. Let's try the EuroCAD. Don't know why, I just happened to see it in front of me. Right. Who asked the question? Gift. You're looking at this one. Don't be shy now. Unmute and see what you think of the EuroCAD. What would you do with it? Would you buy? Would you buy at a better price? Would you sell? Would you sell at a higher price? Would you go in at market, or would you totally leave it alone? Those questions should be coming into your mind. If it's a leave it alone, you don't want to spend all day looking at it because you want to move on and miss a potential opportunity because the ship sailed on another instrument. So what do you think of this one?
Can you put it on a more short time frame, like 4 hours? Let's see.
Sure, absolutely. You're in control here. Okay. I just press the buttons. Go for it.
Okay, then can we had a look at it on a daily. Now it's 4 hourly. Can we take a longer view so that we see whether it's always on the up? It looks like it's on an upward trend, but we need to confirm certain things here. Yeah, it looks like it's a possible. Yeah, it's been lagging along. I don't know what Alma recalls it. It's just
crabbing.
Crabbing. Yeah, it's been crabbing for. But it looks like it's a possible watch for a buy.
Yep, I hear you and I agree. Anybody disagree with that? I'm going to develop it more, but before we develop it more, anybody disagree with this? Anybody say this is a sell? If you do, I hope you back it up with a good reason. Anybody? No, okay. Right. Okay, I agree with all that. Now, it's very much in the buy zone on the 4 and the daily. Right. So that means it's a potential buy. Now we've got to think, is it worth buying now? Looks good for a buy, but we should rather wait for a better price to go in. Maybe, Martin, but let's just discuss this. Is it worth buying now? Now look at the 4 hour and it's come back on the 4 times 50, 4 hour times 50 moving average, and it's held. It even tackled the 10 times 4 hour, and it's held, and the buyers came in. So it's holding there. So that starts to look pretty good. Let's go to the daily, and it's certainly holding on the 10-day moving average and the buy area. Anything to stop us in the weekly? Clearly in the buy zone, the weekly. So we haven't got like a weekly in the buy, a daily in the buy, the 4 hour in the sell. You get the idea. They're all confirming. Let's look at a 1 hour, confirming all of them. Even the 1 hour is confirming on the buy. So this looks start to look good. So what is going to be, do you think, the reason why I might not actually go in right now and buy it? What do you think? What do you think that reason could be? Because I'm not sure I'm going to buy it now. Why? It's good on the 1 hour, 4 hour for a buy. We've all discussed that. Why would I hesitate? What makes you think? What would you think would be the reason why I'd hesitate to buy right now?
The wicks.
Well,
Sellers are coming in.
Well done. That's exactly it. There's nothing sodding happening. Anybody want to get in the car at rush hour and also be an accident on the road? Would you rather go and drive on that road later on or go right now? You get the idea. That's serious traffic jam there. No follow through. Absolutely. Was that difficult, guys? If I didn't get it, surely you guys can get it. Hey. Just teasing, mate. Just because he never paid with that bottle of whiskey he owes me, I'm getting back at him. But joking about...
I'm going to come and visit you down there at the South Coast one of these days, Uncle.
It'd be an absolute bloody pleasure. We could take the piss each other over a damn good bottle of single malt. Absolute good, brilliant idea.
Good. Looking forward to it.
It's a bit of a small place, this. It's 2 bedrooms, a bit of a small place. But as long as you don't mind that, it saves you accommodation costs. What a pleasure.
I'm even willing to put up my tent as long as you just have a space for that.
No space for a tent, but I've got a bedroom, so you can have a nice bedroom, so you can bring the good lady. Just means there's only 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. That's the only problem. But as long as you can handle it for a few days, what a pleasure. Absolutely. Okay. Anyway, so there you are. The invitation is open. But yeah, simple as that. We all like it. What is the reason why we don't want to jump in? Because there's nothing happening. Look at those wicks. Cart goes up, comes back again. Goes up, comes back, goes down, goes up again. Nothing happening. And we're going into a weekend. We don't want to go into a weekend with no bloody action sitting in the damn thing. So we'll revisit on Monday. Are we all clear on that? By the way, thanks very much, Gift, for your interaction there. That's what I want from people. And that's why they'll learn. You'd be surprised how quickly you learn when you interact and have the confidence to ask questions. Because like a lot of the time, I'm pretty sure people aren't asking is because they want to ask, but just don't have the confidence. They're frightened they might get laughed at or fake a fool of themselves or something like that. I'd rather you made some money and made a fool of yourself than don't make a fool of yourself and don't make money. You know what I mean? The only way you can scalp, Sharon, unfortunately, being a retail trader, is you got to make sure the range is big enough to overcome costs. You don't want to take 10 pips and 5 pips as costs. You're giving 50% to the broker. It's not, well, broker will be happy, but you wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So range trading is not a problem. Make sure your range, I personally think should be, I'm not talking the NAS, it has to slightly wider than NAS, but currencies, I'm talking about ballpark figure about 50 pips. You don't want a range of about 20. It's just not worth your while, the risk. There's a bit of resistance there, Anna Marie, but it's more sort of psychological resistance than anything else because it's just not getting going. It's telling me no one's very confident of either one being stronger than the other. It's like getting a seesaw and the guy on one end's 90 kg and the guy at the other end's 90 kg. It's not happening. Okay. Do you want to do another one, guys? Anything else want to discuss? Got half an hour to go before we finish the trading room. Anything of value we want to discuss in here? If you want to do another one, we can do it. But it's very important strategy. And one guy said we don't discuss. Trader comes to the trading room, said privately, said I like it, but maybe discuss strategies a bit more. Well, clearly you can't trade with some sort of strategy. You don't get in a bus and the conductor's, where do you want to go? You say, I have no idea. You know what I mean? So you've got to have a strategy of some sort. So if we can continue with this, if you're happy, if not, move on to something else you want to ask about. We've got half an hour to try and add value.
Strategy. I have a strategy question. So I wanted to ask, so when you look at the dollar yields and the 10-year dollar thingy,
yeah,
are you mainly looking at the charts, or are you actually looking at like the number to show where it's at currently, like the decrease and then the increase?
Well, just get it out of the way to see what's going on. I'm not sure clearly what you mean by that, but I'll just have a look. Might be easier. Right. I'll tell you what, can I just share the screen quickly with you guys? Just quickly stop the share. Might be easy we do that. Right. Can you see that US 10-year Treasury note?
Not yet. Okay, now it's loading.
Now it's loading. Okay. Kicked off. I don't know if that's kicked off is in the right direction. It might have kicked off. I hope it's not going in the wrong direction. The ADUSD. Okay, what I look at here, just make it a bit clearer. Okay, what I would look at here, well, I do look, see, it's 4.2. I think that's pretty high, but everything's relative, I suppose. But I can see it's gone up a hell of a lot. To me, that's more of a pullback than anything else. I'm not sure if it's going to be a downtrend. I still think the yield's going to maintain a bit of high area, but I do check it anyway.
Are you looking at the bars, or are you looking at a chart?
You're currently on the live charts of CO UK, not the DXY.
No, I should be on the 10-year yields.
No, you're on a bar chart.
I'm looking at the wrong thing then. Sorry. Stop the share. Why is that then? Let's share again. See what else I got up there. Let's see what they're going to do. Let's change that. Maybe this will work.
Yes. There you go.
Got it. Okay. Right. What I look at, you can put it on the line chart or a candlestick. I've got a candlestick. I've got an hourly, by the way. You can put an hour, you can put a daily if you want, 15 minutes if you want. But I've got because I can see some action on the hour more than the day. And that's I just basically look to see if it starts to push back up or down. Now I want to go into gold right now, for example, and let's see. I hope you can see my crosshair. Just a second. Where's my crosshair? If you can see the crosshair there, I want to go into gold right now as a buy, right? Get the right way around. Now I want to go into gold as a buy, and I look at let's say I put my crosshair here. I'll be a bit hesitant because the last couple of hours there's been a rise in the yields.
Sorry, Roger, you're on EuroCAD right now.
Oh, I'm gonna have to close this off then. Okay, never mind. I'll go back to chart. Just because obviously I don't know why that's happening. Okay, right. Can you see the charts again?
I see EuroCAD.
No. Yeah, okay, we're back on the charts. Good. Right. Okay. Right. Let's pretend it's a DXY. Oh, sorry, the DXY, same principle, by the way. The yields here. Let's say I'm looking at buying gold, right? I'm looking at buying gold. Look at my crosshair is. I might be hesitant because I look at the previous hour. This is on a daily. Let's pretend it's on an hourly. Okay, that's just gone up, and I might wait.
On the wrong chart.
Doesn't really matter. And I know, yeah, I'm the EuroCAD. I'm just using an example because I'm having problems. Seem to be sharing the 10-year note yields.
Okay.
So I'm just pretending this is the yields, okay, just to get the concept across.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, it's on the daily, but let's pretend it's on the hourly. So just got to use some imagination. This is not the EuroCAD. This is the 10-year for argument's sake. It's an example. Okay, so I can show the concept. It's on the hourly. Now, do I want to buy the gold? Let's get it the right way around. No, I don't want to be buying gold now because I look at this one here and I see it's been going up. If this goes up, it could be weak for gold. So I might hesitate about buying it. Now I'm going to check again an hour later and it's still going up. So again, I wouldn't be buying gold. And it's still going up. I wouldn't be buying gold. If it starts coming off, I would think, gold has come back a bit because that's gone up. And gold's come back and that's starting to come off. It's a bit of hesitant there. I might wait. Start to come off. Then I might buy gold because as it's come off, gold's come off, remember? So I've got a better price and then the yields are falling. In theory, that should bolster the gold upwards.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
You got the concept. That's right. It's the same principle. Just the other chart, for some reason, you're not getting that shown. I don't know why. Anyway, but it doesn't really matter as long as you got the principle.
Yeah, I was confused on to read like the number to actually like look at the charts. But okay.
Yeah, it's basically I'm looking at the movement. I don't care whether the yields are 3 or 4 or 5%. I'm just looking at the movement there. And if the yields continue up, gold, therefore, I'm looking to sell it and vice versa. Now, Zanilli's saying, I won't trust to buy gold at the moment. Certainly not. I wouldn't touch gold right now. No, leave it alone. Why would we leave it alone? Let's have a look at gold. Why leave it alone? It's in the sell zone. Remember I mentioned up there was the buy. Technical damage moved from the neutral into the sell zone. As a result of it, I'm probably looking for shorts, but it's really quite low at the moment. It's come off about $100 since what, July, in the last just over a month and a half or something like that. It's come off quite, about a month. It's come off in 1 month about $100. I think it's going to make a little people nervous to short these levels. The DXY and the yields have actually smoothed out. They're pretty sideways at the moment. So that didn't give me an opportunity to sell it, but doesn't give me any sort of sign that the things have changed at the moment to buy it. So at the moment, there's just as many reasons to leave it alone as to buy or sell. So I would leave it alone. Those are the reasons behind my thinking. Okay, hope we're clear on that. Anyone want to look at something else? Strategy-wise or whatever, you get any idea? Because with a bit of practice, it comes quite quickly. If you want to put in any indicators on, you have your favorites, use them with pleasure. Gold, I don't think it wants to do Martin at the moment. It could be oversold, but it's time to stop if the yields continue to rise to keep coming off. The dollar continues to strengthen and the yields continue to rise, well, gold will continue to come off. It's just yeah, and it could look a bit oversold, but yeah, there's just not enough evidence yet of any movement. If you want to join the traffic jam, throw a coin, buy it or sell it, whatever turns you on. Okay. Oh yeah, let's just look at AUD USD. What was the price? Did I write that down here? No, I didn't. Beg your pardon. So I should have written that down. AUD USD. Give me a moment. AUD USD, and that would be in a sell, hopefully, of course. 63.98, call it 90, 63.99. 0.6488 and 0.6215. Where are we now? 170 and 350. I think that was the right one. Okay, so right, where's AUDUSD? Not much, which seems to be happening. I think going in 98, guys. Anyway, not much happening at the moment, but in fact, sod all by the look of it. But anyway, it's whatever. Not much happening. But even Stevens, CAD JPY, not much happening. Couple of pips up, but nothing much to scream home about. So a bit quiet. So there it is. 11 o'clock. Don't forget, euros coming up the CPI. Okay, right. Anybody else want to discuss strategies or something else? I'm going to leave it open to you guys. What do you suggest you'd like to go forward on so we can actually add some value going into the close? Thank you, Dirk. Come on, guys, this forum's for you. Anything you'd like to discuss? Do you want to further on strategy? Do you want to, anything else you're not sure about? Let's use it usefully. Don't, try to overcome your nerves and actually interact, and then we can do something.
Roger, by generally looking on your market watch list, the shares, most of them declined yesterday.
Yeah.
And with that, the Dow and the Nas declined as well. So
Yeah.
that correlate well
True. Yeah.
with the DXY that strengthened and your yields on the 10-year. So as soon as there's a change or the guys are more convinced that the US economy will be better off, it will be fine. But I think the shares got a knock with the reporting season that just passed now. And number two, I understood that normally, traditionally, August, especially the second part, is fairly low volume trading in the US because of their high summer season.
Correct.
Holidays.
Good point there. Don't forget that, guys. August in Europe as well is their big holiday time. So a lot of guys take holiday there. So volumes get a bit thinner. You're quite right. Basically, yes. And as you said, a bit of decline. And as I say, the Dow did pull back as a result of it. The major issue is, even though the jobs are there, they're good. Inflation's slightly under control, but there's still a little nervousness that about the fact that their debt is so high, which is really went to ballistic due to COVID. They gave all this free money away to kickstart the economy and get the jobs up and running again. And that's a bit of a cause concern. That's why people are a little bit nervous. If it hadn't been for that issue, we'd be back in a full-on bull run like we were a couple of years ago or so, and then just buy the pullbacks. Goes up, put a Fibonacci retracement in, hits your Fibonacci retracement and bounces, you enter another buy on the way up. You know what I'm saying? That's the way to trade a bull run. But having said that, at the moment, there are a bit of nerves because of that reason. That's why I'm finding the Dow and the Nas particularly quite difficult to trade at the moment, unless you're short-term trying to scalp it into getting a direction, because it seems to be chopping and changing quite a bit as news starts to filter out. Okay, so you've all got the idea of about a strategy yet, because I'm assuming, because no one's replied on that. So try and get that strategy and stick to it. If you want to enter any indicators, that's up to you. But once you've got a strategy, I think stick to it. Don't start getting panic stricken if you see a bit of red if you're going long or a bit of green if you're going short. Stick to it. You got your stop loss in, you worked out your volumes, and remember, not one size fits all. Work your volumes out, and it doesn't matter what leverage you got. The calculator tell you you're risking 500 rand. Doesn't matter you're on 100 to 1 or 500 to 1 or 200 to 1 or 50 to 1 leverage. Your risk is still 500 rand if you use the calculator properly. And then you should then have your mind slightly less in turmoil. Okay. Okay, let's just have a look at a couple other trades. We got out, I think it was yesterday. We discussed the two today. It started to move in the right direction. A bit slow, but it's doing it. And AUD's trying to come right, so that's okay. We got a couple out yesterday. Let's just quickly revisit them again. Okay, that was today, clearly. Put it up there. GBP CHF. Let's see what's happening there. It's been dancing around that. That's why that can play with your emotions. Yeah, what do we get in at? 24? No, 02, beg your pardon. Big difference. So that's hovering. It's just not much action coming in there. It's just not really lose, not really gains, more frustration area. GBP USD was another one. It's not really getting going either, which is a bit of a pain. But anyway, it's in a slight profit as we speak, so it's fairly quiet on the Western Front on that one. So I'm just going to let those run. EURCHF was another one. Had been there for a few days. I hope people are still in it. Seem to be doing okay. I'm certainly still in it. What's happening at the moment? I'm short this clearly. I'm buying the Swiss franc, as I mentioned. That's jumped up after saying all that. Oh, what a pity. It's jumped up the last couple of hours. But anyway, hopefully it'll pull back. At least the sellers are coming in again. So that's a bit slow, but it's coming to the party. Okay, so yeah, not too bad. Okay. Okay, we'll probably be wrapping up soon anyway, because I don't have more trades at the moment. And as I say, we are going to the weekend. We don't want to get too cute. We've got a couple out. If you like them, go for them. We discussed previous ones. We discussed strategies. You seem to be okay with it. I have asked if you know how to cut your position, partially closed. Nobody came back, so they did not know. So I see we did know. We've gone out with saving templates. So I've covered most of the basics going forward. So if anybody wants to actually just go over something again, I can do that. If not, maybe we can say have a great weekend and move on.
Thank you, Roger.
Okay, thank you. All those contributors, thank you. And more to the point, hope you've all gained value and even a little bit, something learned from it. That's the main thing. Remember, you just spend an hour and a half or hour and 20 minutes of your time here. The last thing I want to go away, I think that's an hour and 20 minutes I'll never get back again, sort of idea. Good stuff, Nikki. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, that's the whole point. Not paying good mind to listen to the sound of my voice. You're paying to obviously to try and get some practical understanding. Okay. But work on that fear, guys. Get your strategy, work on the fear, and try not to stare at it all the time. Whatever makes it work, but you gotta crack that fear thing. Okay, guys. Well, that seems to be about it then. Okay. Yeah, we'll catch you on Monday and see we hadn't had about NAS kicked us in the teeth a bit, I suppose. But otherwise, 4 TP is not bad so far for a week. In fact, I think we've got more than that. I think we got the CAD JPY last time around as a TP. Euro AUD. That was another one hit the TP. So we had about half a dozen or so hit the TP. Not knocked out in the profit, guys. Actually hit the TP. So that's not bad. Maybe we can hope we do again the same next week. Okay. Thank you for your support, guys. And right, well, catch you then. And have a great one. Cheers.